Have you been struggling to create attraction with women to the point where you're constantly ending up in the friend zone? You're not getting second or third dates with them, and you find it very difficult to create that sexual tension that is crucial in building a romantic relationship with them? Well, if that's the case, then this video is for you. I'm going to share with you 3 effective ways that you can become more attractive to women and a critical mindset shift that you must make that will make you completely irresistible to them. So let's jump into it. One of the biggest mistakes that many of us men make happens very early on when we start talking to a woman and we start engaging in conversations, especially on a first date. I used to make this mistake a lot where when I first started talking to someone, I really wanted to show her how good of a guy I was, how trustworthy I was, how respectful I was, how loyal I can be. And so everything that we discussed was geared around seeking her approval. And I'm sure many of you guys have fallen into that trap where, you just want her to know how good of a person you are. And deep down, we know we're good guys. But at the end of the day, that's ultimately what doesn't create any sexual tension or any attraction from a woman. And the reason for that is if your mindset is to seek approval from a woman, especially early on, then you're going to come across as someone who plays it safe, who's scared to go for what they're after or to even speak their mind, and you're not going to appear masculine to the woman. And it's a complete turnoff for a lot of them. It's the reason why a lot of us ended up in friend zones, because we were just simply being too nice. That's where that saying comes from. Nice guys finish last. That's absolutely true in that context. Now, eventually, yes, you know that once you get into a relationship with them, you will be respectful, you will be loyal, you will be trustworthy. But for right now, you have to focus on creating that attraction and sexual tension between you and her and showing her that you're the man that she wants. And what you need to do is shift your mindset, the goal that you set. Instead of seeking approval, you need to change it to seeking her respect. And the reason why seeking her respect early on is so critical for creating attraction is because it will demonstrate to her that you're not scared to speak your mind, you're not scared to take the lead, and you're not afraid to go after what you truly want to get out of your life. And therefore, you're not going to come across as a pushover or someone she can manipulate. You're going to come across as a masculine man. And there's nothing more attractive or more irresistible than that, especially nowadays with a sea of simps that you can choose from. So with that said, here are 3 ways that you can become more attractive to women. The first way is to disagree with her. Now, this doesn't mean disagree with everything, but you're allowed to have your own preferences, and you don't always have to go along with things that she likes. For example, there's one woman that I'm dating right now who's into country music. And when I first learned that about her, I said, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work out. I'll chat with you later. And she just laughed about it. But I told her straight up, I love music. I used to be a DJ, but out of all genres, country is not something that I could ever get turned on to, and I don't listen to it. And she respected that. In the past, if I was a little bit more of the nice guy, I would have been like, well, I don't really like it, but I'm willing to listen to it if you're willing to listen to it, just being agreeable with her. That was definitely a big mistake. And I used to do that with a lot of things, whether it's preferences that they had for music or certain types of food. Whatever it was, I didn't want to create any friction by showing her that I wasn't agreeable. And that's one thing that will deter you from creating attraction. But what's going to make you unique and stand out is when you are able to speak your mind and disagree on things. Maybe she has a particular idea on how to do something, but in your experience, there's a different way and you disagree, and you could actually demonstrate, well, hey, this is how I've done it. And then you can have a different conversation, but now she respects your perspective instead of you just being the agreeable nice guy. So feel free to disagree with her, because it's going to show her that you're an independent person who speaks their mind, who has their own experiences, and therefore it's going to put you more in that leadership position, a more masculine position. And that leads to my second point. The second way that you can become more effective or more attractive to a woman is to take the lead. And the best example of this is taking the lead when setting up a date or planning a date. I used to be that guy that would always ask so many questions about, well, do you like this kind of food or this kind of food? Or have you been here before? Or, when are you available? What are these dates? Let me just plan all this around, but always asking her opinion. And as soon as I shifted to become more assertive and taking the lead and saying things like, hey, you know what, there's this great Italian restaurant that I want to take you to. I really love it there and I think you'll enjoy it. I'm available this day or this day. Which one of those days work? And that might not feel natural to you if you haven't done that before. You might feel like you're coming across as some sort of a jerk or an asshole, but in reality, you're demonstrating assertiveness. You're showing her, hey, I'm taking the lead. I know what I want. I know what I want to show you. I know when I'm available. So are you willing to meet me there? And she will totally appreciate that, because ultimately a woman doesn't want to be the one planning a date. I remember I used to get this feedback from women saying, oh, well, I don't really care, like you figure it out. And I didn't clue in, and I kept asking questions, and I could just tell that the attraction was just getting killed because I wasn't taking the lead. Now, there's other ways that you can also take the lead in that relationship. You can also take the lead in conversations. You don't always have to wait for her to interject or ask questions. I mean, yes, it's a back and forth. You don't want to also be coming across as someone who's an interviewer, who's constantly asking questions. But you want to have her engage and take the lead. If there's going to be a silence or a gap, that's okay sometimes. You could just look at her, smile, and then use that to segue into the next conversation topic, but you take the lead. So again, taking the lead is going to put you in a masculine position and show her that you are someone that she can follow. And that leads me to the third and final point. The third most effective way that you can build attraction with a woman is to show her how passionate you are about things in your life. And what I mean by being passionate, it could be a hobby, it could be a skill, it could be a project that you're working on. One of the things that I demonstrate a lot of passion with women is my passion for cooking, learning different cuisines, because I haven't been able to travel to those countries yet, but I'm still willing to learn a lot about the different types of foods that they eat, which in turn helps me to learn a little bit about the culture. So eventually when I do get to travel to that country, I'll already be familiar and be able to fit in and enjoy my experience more. And I used to think that I was coming across as like a nerd, telling her about different cooking techniques that I was learning from chefs online and even friends that I knew that worked in the industry. But ultimately, I started to realize that this was something that really impressed her, because I was going for something that I absolutely loved. And I wasn't doing this because it was to impress others or because someone else told me to do this. It was because of something that I was absolutely passionate about. Same thing with my love for Star Trek. I still kind of cringe inside when I say that I'm a Trekkie, but I love science fiction. I love all of the different series. I love how they storytell and they incorporate real science with exploration into space. That's always something that I've been fascinated of. And when you are able to show passion about something that you love, whether it's a skill or maybe it's content that you consume, you become a lot more interesting, but also you demonstrate a level of independence that is very attractive. It means that you're a masculine man and you don't give a shit about others' opinions about you. That's what makes you a unique individual that stands out from everybody else. And that's ultimately what's going to create that sexual attraction and tension between you and her, because now you're not only demonstrating that you're not scared to go for what you want, and you're not afraid of the failures and rejections that face you, but you're now also in a position of leadership, because guess what? If you're passionate about something that she's not, you're most likely more knowledgeable and an expert at it, and now you're in a position to possibly teach her if she gets interested in it. And then again, going back to the cooking example, there's been many times where I've set up dates where we cook dinners together, and all I'll say is that there can be a lot of magic that happens in the kitchen. So be passionate about something and don't be scared to show that to her, because that's going to make you come across as a very masculine person who is not scared to go after what they want. So those are the top 3 ways that you can generate attraction with women. I know there's a lot of content talking about your physical game, which is something I'll create another video about. But ultimately, the most important part about this, if there's one thing you take away from this, is you need to shift your mindset of seeking her approval over to seeking her respect. And that means, again, taking the lead on things, disagreeing with her and speaking your mind, and most importantly, demonstrate that you have passion in your life. And once you do that, you'll be surprised to see how the dynamic changes between you and her and how many more dates you come, and you'll start to feel that romantic spark happen, because now you are now coming across as a masculine man. Your masculine energy is coming through, which then puts her in her feminine frame. So I hope this video finds you at the right time. It's Christmas Eve, so those of you who do celebrate Christmas, please have a Merry Christmas with your family and friends. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you for all of your support with my channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Peace out.